Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I am doing another Fatal Friday video. Fatal Friday being the series I do where I take the main roster and cameo fighters from Mortal Kombat 1 into the Kombat League in order to try and get their unique finishers, such as Brutalities and Fatalities. This week we are going back to Sub-Zero and Sareena, and we are trying to get Sub-Zero's Brutality ability to freeze, which is the Brutality version of his Deadly Vapor attack. This time around in the Kombat League, we are going against a Kung Lao user, and he is paired up with the Stryker kameo. Speaking of cameos, mine simultaneously gets used a lot and not at all in this match. And what I mean by that is, you are not going to see me deplete any of my cameo gauge at any point whatsoever. I never summon Sareena for any sort of cameo attacks. However, pay attention to how many times I do a forward throw with Sareena. I kind of feel like it's a lot, but that's just my opinion. We'll see exactly how high the amount goes up to. And on that note, the forward throw with Sareena is the only throw I do in this entire set. I don't do any back throws with Sub-Zero. So yes, Sareena is doing all the throwing effort. Speaking of things that happen a lot in this fight, Kung Lao really enjoys using that jumping kick of his, the one that he can meter burn. We're only about 40 seconds into this match and he's already done it 3 times. And he's not slowing down, I promise you. So expect to see that quite a bit more. And that right there is going to be the highest damaging combo I do in this entire recording. I tap out at 304 damage, so don't expect anything too crazy going forward, but I do alright all the same. But that 304 damage combo was very important because it was at that point I started to make a minor comeback, because at one point I was trailing by having 150 health versus his 553 health. So that combo was important in that regard. And I also caught a big break when he went for his fatal blow at the end of the first round because he timed it wrong, and that gave me a chance to close out the first round. Having Kung Lao stuck in the corner hurt him pretty bad. I ended up getting a huge life lead against him, and he was not able to get out of the corner, and he wasn't really able to do much of anything in return because he was stuck in that corner. So once he was down to about 20 health, I backed out of the corner. Now once I backed out of the corner, Kung Lao started chasing after me and jumping in the air and just making it difficult for me to actually hit the brutality. Eventually I bet on him continuing to be aggressive against me and come after me, and I ended up freezing him with the clone, and that gave me the opening for a free shot at the brutality.
Brutality! Sub-Zero wins.
And that is the ability to freeze brutality. Yeah, him coming after me and then landing right into that ice clone could not have made it too much easier to get the brutality. I'm actually kind of lucky it didn't kill him whenever he landed in the ice clone, so yeah, overall I was pretty fortunate we got to see the brutality, but we're not done yet. We still need to wrap this thing up and win the entire set. So in round 1 of match number 2, I thought I had lost my opponent at first because he was not moving. So I just did an ice ball to get the first hit bonus, and then I waited and gave him a moment to rejoin the fight, move, or just do anything. Which fortunately he did do, and he did so by taunting me, and I guess that was a sign he was good to go. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe his controller died on him or something like that, but fortunately it was just a brief interruption, and that is going to be the only one. Now I end up dropping a lot of combos in this first round, and it costs me some decent damage, but fortunately I still end up doing enough to win the first round, and I do so pretty comfortably. So far it seemed like my ice clone was the most valuable tool against this Kung Lao user, since they were pretty aggressive and they really like to do that jump kick against me a lot. And at this point I was pretty much going to win round 1 of match number 2 any way I wanted, and I ended up just doing it off of a simple crouching punch, and we were going into the very next round of the match with me only needing 1 round to win it all. In round 2 of match 2, this time around my clumsy combo execution continued, so it is going to look a little sloppy for a moment. Now unlike in the first round, I would not be as fortunate with the sloppy combos ending in a good result. This time around, Kung Lao would get the momentum against me, and he would be the one that would be taking this round, and it would be his very first winning of a round in the entire set. In fact, he even ended up winning it kind of similar to how I won the previous round. He did not land any huge combos. I think the highest one he did was like in the mid 200 damage range, But he did end up landing enough little things that it added up and did just enough, and it did not matter. He won anyway. Then it was down to a third and final round for match number 2, and it started off with a successful jump-in prediction, which led to Kung Lao jump kicking his way into one of my ice clones, leaving him vulnerable to some easy early damage. In fact, in hindsight, I ended up landing that ice clone against him a lot. I already mentioned I was going to do a count of the forward throws I'd do with Sareena, but now I am thinking I need to do the exact same thing with the ice clones. I'm curious which one I did more at this point, because I do both of them quite a bit, and I would say those are the two things that end up helping me out the most in this set, because they were the things I was landing the most consistently. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. It'll be fun to see just how much I relied on those two things in order to try and pick up wins against this Kung Lao user. We end up ending the round in the exact same way that it started, with Kung Lao jump kicking into an ice clone, and this time around, at the very end of the round, he did not have enough meter to break it, so I was free to pull off whatever winning combo that I wanted. Now, I already got the brutality I wanted to highlight in the previous match, so I was more focused on just winning this fight rather than going for the brutality a second time. Had that not been the final round of this match, and had I perhaps had a larger life lead, I probably would have been fishing for the brutality again, but getting it once is good enough. And since I did only get this brutality once, do not worry, I will show it one more time at the very end of this outro, that way we can all enjoy it one final time before we part ways. So yeah, I had the count going the entire time for every time I did a Sareena forward throw and every single time I froze the opponent with an ice clone attack. And it was actually a really close race, but in the end, the ice clone won, because I froze them 9 times versus threw them with Sareena 8 times. Neither of which is super surprising. The ice clone is just super handy whenever your opponent's being very aggressive against you, and generally speaking, I try to throw the opponent a lot, especially if they don't seem to be getting out of it. But anyway, that is going to be pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to check out some of the other stuff on the Thor's Entertainment channel. I do have other finisher-related videos like this under the Mortal Kombat 1 online playlist, and I also have playthroughs of the story modes for Mortal Kombat games as well. For now, though, that is going to be it for me. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Brutality! Sub-Zero wins.